There are countless books out there that can make you a better investor. There's everything from books on how to trade options to how to do value investing like Warren Buffett, and there's even books on how to save for your retirement by not buying that latte every week. But in a world where there are so many books on personal finance, how do you decide which ones to read? Well, I put together a list of the 5 best books that will make you a better investor, and they cover the full spectrum of investment, everything from mindset to building out your portfolio. So if you want to be a well-rounded investor that has the tools you need in order to make money and retire sooner, this is the video for you. But before we get into it, my name is Nolan Mathias, and if you want to thrive financially, this is the place for you. So go ahead, click that subscribe button and hit that like button so more people like you can see this video. Okay, so now on to the first book, which is this one, The Only Investment Guide You Will Ever Need by Andrew Tobias. This was recommended by Mark Cuban. It was a little known book before he recommended it, at least as far as I know. And this is a book that covers pretty much the full spectrum of investing, but it has one chapter at the very beginning that talks about $1 saved is better than $2 earned. And this is so right, because when you start thinking about things like saving money on purchases that you're making with after-tax dollars and maybe saving 10, 20, 30% on something that you're buying at the grocery store, well, those types of savings exceed any sort of returns that you'll ever be able to make in the stock market, which is why they should be the first thing that you're focusing on when it comes to investing. It's not the money that you're investing, but the money that you're not spending that has the single most value to you as an investor. Now, moving on to the second book of the 5 books that will make you a better investor. This one is The Index Card. And this is a really cool book because, as you can see, it's pretty small, not that thick, super easy read, not a ton of words on the paper. And that is because everything that you need to know about personal finance, in theory, could be written on an index card. And the author of this book, Harold Pollack, he actually did this. He wrote down on an index card everything you could possibly need to know about investing. And he got quite a bit of publicity for it because it was really simple and really easy to understand. And in fact, at the end of the book, they give you the index card. Everything that you need to know about personal finance in one card. And this has things on it like save 10 to 20% of your income, pay your credit card balance off every month in full, max out your 401k and other tax advantage savings account, which, by the way, if the government's going to give you opportunities to save taxes, take it, because most of your money in your lifetime that you make is going to the government. So if you can take advantage of tax savings, do it. That is the single best way that you can save money. And that's also reflected in Andrew Tobias's The Only Investment Guide You Will Ever Need. Now, there's some things in here that I don't necessarily agree with, like never buy or sell individual stocks. While buying things like ETFs are significantly easier, most people are probably going to be better off not buying individual stocks, but there is some good strategies out there with respect to doing this. So while I may not agree with everything in this book, the majority of it is really good. And of course, my favorite being in the mortgage industry is buy a home when you are ready. And I definitely agree with that. So this is a really great book. Everything you need to know is really on one page, but he goes into depth on each of the 14 things that he has on his index card. And this is a really good one, especially if you're brand new to investment books. Now, moving on to one of the books that absolutely changed my mind on pretty much everything with respect to money is this one. It's called The Psychology of Money. It's by Morgan Housel. Now, this one is filled with so many interesting chapters and so much good information. There's one that I want to talk about, though, that really intrigued me, and that is Warren Buffett and how he is by far the best investor who has ever lived. Well, actually, he's not. He's got the most wealth from investing of any other investor. But there is another investor out there. His name escapes me right now, but it's in this book. You can go ahead and read it. It is a good one. And that investor has exceeded Warren Buffett's returns on a pretty regular basis. The difference between that other investment and being the richest man in the world, at least at one point, was this. It was time. And just like I talked about with Darren Hardy and the compound effect, the difference between Buffett and other investors who have gotten better returns than him is simply that Buffett has had significantly longer in the market. He started investing at a very young age, and he has had significantly more time to build his wealth. And that is the compound effect, which makes it really hard for other investors, even if they're better than him, to catch him. So this one's a really good one. There's all kinds of other chapters in here that are really, really interesting, especially the ones with respect to things like confirmation bias. So check this one out. Now, one of the books that's probably had the greatest reach in the investment world is this one, Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game. This is a big book. It's a thick book. It has a lot of information in it, but it probably has the one strategy that has impacted the most new investors over the last decade, and that's the Ray Dalio all-season consistent investment strategy. And this was the very first book where that was outlined. And basically what it is a strategy where you reduce your risk by buying a significant amount of low risk investments to offset the higher risk investments. And by setting up the portfolio properly, what it does is it allows you to reduce your losses during times where there are significant losses in the market. So in other words, you may not get higher returns when the market's up, but you reduce your losses when the market's down. And that has a significant amount of impact on your portfolio. And you'll find that in other books here that probably one of the most significant things you can do when it comes to your money is make sure that you don't lose it. And that all season portfolio became famous for that because it is a portfolio that is designed to limit your losses. And while I don't recommend leverage, if you have a portfolio that is very risk averse, it allows you to do some things with borrowing money to invest that you may not otherwise do. Now, don't go out and borrow money to invest just because I said that. It's a bad idea. And borrowing money increases your risk substantially. You need to be a sophisticated investor to do that. But this book has not only the Ray Dalio all-season strategy, but it also has a lot of really good information on things like choosing your financial planner, especially when it comes to choosing a fiduciary who has obligations to you and only you when it comes to protecting your money. So check that one out. This one is a really good one. Probably need a little while to read it and a few glasses of wine or maybe a beer in order to get through it. Now, last but not least is one of my favorite books with respect to becoming an investor and the stages of becoming an investor. This is Robert Kiyosaki's The Cash Flow Quadrant. This one had a huge impact on me because it gave me a clear path forward with respect to where I wanted to go in the future in order to make sure that I had the retirement and the life that I wanted. And basically what this book talks about is the transition from going from being an employee to being self-employed to being a business owner and then being an investor, with the investor being the final stage and the investor being the type of person who has money that is working for them and is paying them on a regular basis so that they don't have to go to a job in order to earn an income. Their investments create the income for them, and therefore it allows them to get up in the morning and do whatever they want to do. This one had a huge impact. Now, Robert Kiyosaki has some things that he talks about that I completely disagree with nowadays, especially when it comes to things like buying physical gold and silver. You can check out my video on that, which I'll link to right here. And on top of that, I've also got another video on the 5 books that will help you become a millionaire if you want to learn how to do that quicker. I'll link to that right here.